The story of King Charles and Princess Diana is one of the most captivating and complex tales in royal history. A tale that begins with unexpected romance and evolves into heartbreak, scandal, and profound loss. It is a saga that has intrigued and saddened millions. At the heart of their relationship lies a complicated web of love, duty, betrayal, and the pressures of public life. And as the world continues to reflect on their story, the legacy of Diana's tragic end and the royal family's handling of her death remain points of ongoing debate. Their love story began in 1980, in the most unexpected of circumstances. Charles, at 29 years old, had already been courting Diana's older sister, Sarah Spencer, but it was Diana, only 16 at the time, who caught his eye. The two met at Althorpe, the Spencer family's home, in a field freshly ploughed for a shooting event. Diana, full of youthful energy and charm, made an immediate impression on Charles, though their connection would take years to fully blossom. Diana's beauty and vibrant personality captivated him, and despite the 12-year age gap, an undeniable spark ignited between them. However, their relationship didn't start smoothly. At first, Charles remained involved with Sarah Spencer, continuing to date her even after his first encounter with Diana. The two shared a seemingly harmless skiing trip to a Swiss resort, where photographers captured images of them together, fueling speculation about the nature of their relationship. It seemed, for a time, that Diana was merely an afterthought, a fleeting attraction that wouldn't lead to anything serious. But fate had other plans. Sarah, in a revealing biography by Sarah Bradford, would eventually admit that she had no romantic interest in Charles and never saw him as a future husband. This admission ended their relationship and made way for Diana and Charles to rekindle their connection. Their paths crossed again at a 30th birthday party for Charles, but it wasn't until later that they truly began to bond. During a gathering at a mutual friend's home, Diana showed her warmth and compassion by offering comfort to Charles, who was deeply grieving the recent loss of his great-uncle, Lord Mountbatten, who had been tragically assassinated by the IRA. This moment marked the beginning of their emotional connection, as Diana's kindness and sensitivity drew Charles closer to her. Despite the rocky beginnings and Charles's lingering emotional ties to his ex-lover Camilla Parker Bowles, the two continued to spend time together, and soon, their bond deepened into a romantic relationship. Charles introduced Diana to his world, taking her on fishing trips and inviting her to Balmoral, his Scottish estate. These moments not only brought them closer together but also captured the public's attention. Diana's youth, grace, and beauty made her an instant icon, and her relationship with the heir to the throne thrust her into the spotlight. Just 6 months after they began their romance, Charles proposed to Diana in a quiet, private moment during a dinner at Buckingham Palace. Diana accepted, and the couple's engagement quickly became one of the most talked-about events in the world. The engagement ring, a stunning 12-carat blue sapphire surrounded by diamonds, symbolized their future together, but it also marked the beginning of a very public relationship. Diana's unique sense of style soon captured the public's imagination, and she quickly became a fashion icon. But despite the outward appearance of a perfect romance, cracks in their relationship were beginning to show. In an interview with the press, Diana confidently stated that she was in love, while Charles's response, "Whatever love means," raised eyebrows and hinted at underlying issues. As their wedding day approached, Diana was already struggling with doubts. In Andrew Morton's 1992 book, Diana, Her True Story, she revealed how she was emotionally conflicted about marrying Charles. Her anxiety intensified when she discovered that Charles had given a bracelet to Camilla, his ex-lover, as a gift shortly before their wedding. This discovery deeply hurt Diana and led her to contemplate calling off the wedding. However, her sister, Sarah, convinced her that it was too late to back out, as the entire world was already watching. The wedding went ahead, despite the emotional turmoil Diana was facing. The wedding itself, on July 29, 1981, was a grand spectacle, watched by millions of people around the world. It was the first time in 300 years that a British heir to the throne married a commoner, and the event captured the attention of the entire globe. Diana wore a breathtaking ivory silk gown covered in over 10,000 pearls, and the ceremony was broadcast live to 750 million viewers in 74 countries. It was a fairy tale wedding, but behind the scenes, things were far from perfect. Diana made the bold decision to leave out the word obey from her vows, breaking with tradition, and during the ceremony, she accidentally called Charles Prince Philip Charles instead of Charles Philip Arthur George, leading to an awkward moment. Despite these small imperfections, the couple's wedding was a monumental event in British history. However, the issues in their marriage were already beginning to surface. Charles continued to be emotionally involved with Camilla, and Diana began to feel increasingly isolated and betrayed. Her emotional struggles were compounded by the intense scrutiny of the media, and her doubts about the marriage deepened. In 1992, Diana revealed in her own words the emotional turmoil she had experienced, and the book Diana, Her True Story became a bombshell, exposing the truth about the couple's fractured relationship. In 1992, Diana and Charles officially separated, and the news sent shockwaves through the royal family and the world. The couple continued to fulfill their royal duties separately, but their relationship remained the subject of intense public interest. Charles's ongoing affair with Camilla became more widely known, and in 1995, Diana gave a tell-all interview with the BBC's Panorama, where she spoke candidly about her struggles within the marriage. The interview, in which she revealed the emotional toll of dealing with Charles's infidelity, caused an uproar and made headlines around the world. Diana's life after her separation from Charles was marked by both personal growth and heartache. She threw herself into charity work, becoming an advocate for AIDS awareness and homelessness, and she gained the admiration of people around the world for her dedication to humanitarian causes. She also embarked on a series of relationships, most notably with Dr. Hasnat Khan, a respected heart surgeon. Their romance was intensely private, and Diana referred to him as Mr. Wonderful, but it ultimately ended after 2 years, as Khan was unwilling to live his life in the public eye. In the years following her divorce, Diana's life became even more public. She began a highly publicized relationship with film producer Dodi Fade, and their time together in the summer of 1997 captured the attention of the media. The paparazzi relentlessly followed them, and despite efforts to escape the public eye by traveling to Paris, tragedy struck on the night of August 31, 1997. Diana, Dodi, and their driver Henri Paul were involved in a fatal car crash in the Pont de El Alma tunnel. The crash, caused by the driver speeding to escape the pursuing paparazzi, claimed all their lives and left the world in shock. In the days following Diana's death, the royal family faced widespread criticism for their handling of the situation. The Queen was accused of being too distant, and the decision not to lower the royal standard at Buckingham Palace was seen as a major misstep. The royal family's reluctance to publicly mourn Diana was met with outrage, and many questioned their ability to empathize with the public's grief. Diana's funeral, held at Westminster Abbey on September 6, 1997, was a somber and historic event. Millions of people lined the streets of London to pay their respects, and the ceremony was watched by millions more around the world. Prince Charles, who had been estranged from Diana for years, attended the funeral and chose to wear a navy suit, a decision that caused some to question his choice of attire. However, it was later interpreted as a sign of respect for Diana and her unique style. The funeral marked the end of an era, and the royal family was left to reflect on the legacy of the woman they had lost. In the wake of Diana's death, there were many questions left unanswered. The royal family faced intense scrutiny, and the public's perception of them was forever changed. Diana's passing left a void that could never be filled, and her sons, Prince William and Prince Harry, were left to carry on her legacy. Their lives, too, would be shaped by the loss of their mother, and the royal family would continue to face challenges in the years to come. The death of Princess Diana remains one of the most poignant moments in royal history, and it continues to stir emotions and debate to this day. The question of whether the royal family handled her death appropriately remains a subject of intense discussion. Did they act in a way that honored Diana's memory, or did they fail to show the compassion and empathy that the public expected? This remains a question that, perhaps, will never be fully answered.